All right, what to do about the deer, Montreal's going to hire professional shooters to deal with the East End deer overpopulation. Starting this fall, City of Montreal is going to begin decreasing the size of deer herds. On Tuesday, the city's saying that there are currently 165 deer in parks in East End Montreal. The capacity of deer is 25, so well above capacity, and that number is growing at an accelerated rate. With more on this, let's go to Sterling Downey. He's city councillor in Verdun, and he's on the line. Hi, Sterling. Welcome back.
Hey, how's it going, Elias?
I'm doing well. Listen, the listeners are putting it to me this way on the text line. I let the deer live, call the politicians, right? So, Sterling, it's either you or the deer. Who do you pick?
Myself.
Okay. Okay, good. I'm in favor of that too, Sterling.
It saves us money. This is a serious issue. All jokes aside, it's not a funny issue. But that was just to make a little bit light of the comment. But
let me just tell you, Sterling. I'll decide what's funny or not. And
this is true.
And I laugh because of I see what's posted online, the cutest photo of a deer possible, and then the story, we're going to kill them. And there's some humor to be had in that. But you're right. Dealing with the environment and what happens in our ecosystems in the urban scenario is serious. Now I give you the microphone. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen, and I want to be very clear. We're talking about sentient living beings that have rights to life. And I don't want for any minute for anyone to think that that's taken lightly. I'm obviously a huge animal advocate. I was at the lead of the fight against the BSL and the certain dog ban that was brought into place many, many years ago. I've been a huge defender of our beavers and our beaver population along Verdun, along the waterfront. So this is an issue for me that is a very serious issue. Now, one of the things that's a big problem right now is the province has experts and the province decides what municipalities can do for the most part. And the MAPAC right now is only giving us pretty much one option. As an administration, we've looked with other experts, such as individuals as well as Anne-France Goldwater, who we've worked closely with in the past, to try to find alternative solutions, one being displacing some of the animals to an animal sanctuary or something. However, the government is pushing back and experts saying that we cannot displace the animals and capture them. It causes too much stress and can actually end up killing them in the long run. These are similar lines that I got in 2013, 2014, 2015 when trying to find solutions for the beaver population along the riverfront. Mm-hmm. And we were told the same thing. This hasn't changed. And I want to just be clear that this is an issue that, we saw in Longueuil. So people are well aware of the situation with the deers in Longueuil. We're well aware now of the deers in Pointe-aux-Trembles. But I want to remind people that not so far away from my own borough, in the borough of La Salle in 2013, 2014, 2015, this was also a big issue because there was an overpopulation of deer on les îles de les Hérons and les îles de la Chèvre. And crossbow hunters were brought in to cull the population. So where I'm going with that is wildlife management is a Quebec issue. And the more we take over cities and we take down forested areas and we build things, the more and more these animal populations are being forced out. They're being considered nuisances, which they're not because we're taking their space. But I think the government has a responsibility to work with municipalities, because it's not unique to Montreal or La Salle or Longueuil, to figure out proper sustainable ways to ensure the life of these animals and the bien-être, if you will, of these ecosystems. Projet Montréal, as a party, we're creating and trying to preserve as much wetlands and green space and environments as possible. And these are environments where these animals and these different species thrive. So we have to find ways to cohabitate. And luckily, the SPCA is working with us, and they're saying that the sterilization of the animals that will remain is a humane process. Mm. This is something, in my opinion, that should have been done a very, very, very long time ago in conjunction with the province before these populations got out of control. But this is where we're at, and it's a very, very sad situation.
But here's the thing, Sterling. Yep. Nobody wants deer to die. Nobody. Yep. I don't know anyone who wishes anything ill towards these deer. Sometimes you just got to make difficult decisions, and I think some of the reasons why you're pointing out how you were on the forefront of the pit bull ban, or against the pit bull ban, and you're trying to give us your environmental credibility here, is I think you're worried about what happened in Longueuil and that crazy faction that will lose their minds and actually, even threaten violence against politicians who are all just trying to do the right thing for everyone. Is that fair to say that you're worried about the reaction here?
I think it's fair to say that we should always be worried about people's reactions, because the people that we represent, we have to be listening to them, right? So people need to be listened to and they need to be heard. So I think that the reality of these individuals who are speaking up, I think these animals need these advocates. I think it's important. I think we support these advocates. But like you said, there's difficult decisions and sometimes things that are way out of our control. And none of us and nobody wants this to happen. And I mean, I would love to see us working in municipalities across Quebec, working closer with the government and the provincial government to figure out ways to prevent these things from ever happening, because it's going to become more and more common. So, I mean, I understand animal activists. I am an animal activist. I consider myself one anyways. And I don't think that people are wrong. Sometimes they have to be harsh in order to get things done, because, you know, my concern is that the MAPAC, like I said, since 2013, since I've been elected, this is kind of like business as usual. This is how we've always done things. This is what we're going to continue to do. But maybe they need to start rethinking how we approach this issue. Okay, so we need their support.
Sterling, we got a perfect segue here into our next topic. And listening to citizens, listening to the people. Have a listen here to one Verdun resident. You've probably heard this before, but it's a Verdun resident at town council about a decision on the Verdun swimming pool. Have a listen.
I'm not going to go into the history of me in the pool. Bottom line is, you people have made up your mind. You're going to give a rat's ass what's said here. And when I see you people spending $7 million on a beach that you can only use maybe 3 months of the year if it doesn't rain and all the sledge comes up, how much on a skateboard park and a rinky-diddle dog park?
So there you have one angry Verdun resident saying,
very good friend of mine as well. Very good friend. Her father was my janitor at my elementary school.
So
very close to this person.
What's your response on the allegation? Or, hey, you know what? You're making the wrong decision, spending on X, Y, and Z when you've got a pool that can be used 12 months a year, and that would be a resource for the community. What say you to her?
Well, so there's a lot of different factors. The pool can't be used 12 months a year, one, for now, right? It's an outdoor pool. It's not a closed-in pool. But I've spoken with this person very closely. They're a very good friend of mine, like I said. Listen, what I have to say is this. In 1985, don't forget, I've lived in Verdun 50 years of my life, so I went to this pool. I know the history of this pool. I mean, I grew up at this pool. In 1985, approximately around 1985, the roof was closed, the roof terrace that all of us grew up going on for chips and Cokes and everything, right? That was closed because of major structural issues, and the roof couldn't sustain the capacity of people up there anymore. So in 1985, we knew there were major structural issues with this building, and nothing was done. Now, when I was elected, the pool was closed basically, and I think it was 2017, the former mayor closed the pool because we were going to do some renovation work, and then we discovered all of these other vis cachés, as we say in French, problems with the building. Now, there's been a lot of stuff that should have been done at the time. We focused on renovating the auditorium. The mayor focused on his beach at the time in Verdun. Lots of other projects were prioritized, but this building stayed closed and needing major repair. We didn't hold any public consultations. We didn't present anything to the public back then. We never had any public hearings or anything where we could speak with people and say, here's a situation, what should we all do? So I'm glad that we did this. I'm proud as a Verdunner to say we brought to the attention of the community. There is a severe issue and we're facing very, very difficult challenges. What does the population think we should do? What we did the other night was we presented what we're being told right now. No final decision. There are still options on the table, but we wanted to hear people. We needed and felt that the community needed to come out and express themselves to see collectively as a community what the solutions are and what we can do for the building. And there are a lot of solutions, I think, personally, that are still on the table. And I know our team in Verdun, our elected officials, have discussed this issue at length. Mm-hmm. And I think that we have some interesting options. Again, it's now to see if the city center and other people will get on board and we can do this. But there are ways to preserve the history of this building. And contrary to some of the kerfuffle or some of the panic that was sent out in the media and on social media by maybe some former colleagues who maybe were seeking some sort of attention, we are not before a fait accompli necessarily. Okay. And the mayor was very clear about that.
Sterling?
The community will have its say.
Sterling, we will keep track of that as my text message line lights up over this historic building. People are very passionate about it. Sterling,
and they can reach out to me. I'm their counselor, and I am happy to meet with them and talk with them about this and clarify any misinformation that's out there.
Reach out to that man right there, Sterling Downey. Sterling, thanks so much.
Thank you, Elias. Have a great day, guys.
Sterling, of course, city councillor in Verdun.